Everybody, David here. I wanted to make this video for you all because you've been so loving and so kind when it comes to my mother. As you know, she had a massive stroke, and from the past two videos, I let you know that because of your prayers, because we were praying to God for a healing, that miracles happen. The doctors had no hope for my mother, completely paralyzed. And because of your prayers, because we were praying to God, understanding we have the power in us to heal the sick, miracles happened. My mom started moving her arms and her head, and she even brushed her hair. And it was truly, I mean, the doctors were astounded. But there's something I need to share with you. My mother was doing phenomenal yesterday, and then we told her she was going to rehab. And they moved her to rehab about 4 o'clock yesterday, and all of a sudden, within an hour, 2 hours, she started taking a turn for the worse. She went from smiling and moving around to she couldn't even hardly breathe. So they rushed her to ER. So we went to ER last night. She could barely breathe. And I was able to sing some songs to her. And I want to share with you the things that happened. You see, I wanted my mother to come home to me. But I discovered that my mother wanted to go home to Jesus. Sorry. I failed to ask my mother what her will was. And I discovered last night she wanted to go home to Jesus. And that's where she went. She went into the arms of the Lord. But I want to share with you what happened, the chain of events, because I think it's important. And this is to glorify and to understand the things of God. And this is what I want to share with you all. As I stood in ER and she was struggling to breathe, God gave me 2 songs. I want to just sing a little bit and explain to you why I believe God gave me these songs. The first one is, I bent down and I sang in her ear softly and gently. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. Now, the reason I believe God gave me that song is because He was telling me to tell my mother that she had blessed assurance because Jesus was hers. And then God gave me another song to sing. And I thought this was unusual, but I needed to sing it, and I sang it to my mother as she laid there in ER. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. And I believe God gave me that song to tell my mother that she was going to be praising God that night. And that even though 10,000 years will go by, we'll still be praising God just as strong, bright shining as the sun. So God gave me those songs. And she was struggling, but we believed at that point that she was still going to make it. I was still praying over her. And my sister, Vicky, was with me, and my wife. And we were praying over her that God would heal her. And then something interesting happened. All of a sudden I said, I just need to go get something to eat. I hadn't eaten all day. But I wasn't that hungry, but I just felt this crazy desire just to go out and get something to eat. And so I told my sister, I said, I'm going to go grab something to eat and I'll be right back. And I thought, I'm going to come back and Mom's just going to be fine. And so I went to eat, and no longer than 20 minutes, my sister called me and said, Mom's taking a turn for the worst. You better get down here. And so I rushed there, and by the time I got there, she was gone. She was gone. And I felt so guilty. I felt so guilty that I had left. And I wasn't there with her to hold her hand, to be with her as she crossed over, went to be with the Lord. But then God spoke to me, and what he said was, David, the reason that you had a desire to go eat is because I placed that desire in you, because your mother always loved to feed you, and she wanted you to go eat. And that was her chance to go ahead and leave, to slip out quietly. But I want to share one more thing with you. I never said to my Mom, it's okay for you to leave. It's all right. I didn't say that. And I really wish I would have, but something I did say, and I want to share it with you, that I believe she understood, is when my sister Vicky was laying her head on my Mom's chest while Mom was still breathing before I went to eat, I said to Vicky, and I know Mom heard me, I said, Vicky, I said, Mom's going to be okay no matter what. She's either going to come home with us or she's going to go home to Jesus. And I believe when my Mom heard me say that, to her, that was me saying, Mom, it's okay. It's all right. I'm going to let you go. And so, I'm sorry. I wanted to share this with you because I think it's important. When God speaks to us, I think it's important to tell people what God is saying. And I wanted to share with you how important it is, family. And go give someone that you love a big hug, okay? Because you don't know how long they're going to be here, all right? So I just want to close with this, that yes, we have the power to heal the sick, but also I've learned through this that we need to understand God's will and really seek out God. And God really has spoken to me in all this, everything that's happened. And I want to say to you all that I love you so much, and I appreciate your prayers for my mother, for me, for my family. And I'm praying for you because I know you guys are struggling. You have things going on in your life. But I just wanted to let you know that no, my mother didn't come home with me, but she did go home to Jesus. I love you all.